Today we're going to be reviewing order of operations, or PEMDAS is how you might have heard it when you were in elementary school. I know a lot of you have experience with this because I've heard you talk about it before. So hopefully this is just going to be a very quick review for you and some extra practice to make sure that you remember it, because it's important that you understand this information for when you are solving problems. I always tell kids that it's a good idea to write the mnemonic at the top of their page to help them remember the order in which you have to solve or simplify expressions. We always start with P, which stands for parentheses, E, which stands for exponents. And those are usually easy. That's where kids don't tend to have any struggles. They know parentheses have to come first, followed by exponents. But then it gets a little bit trickier at this level. And I always tell the kids to write the M and the D on the same line. And that stands for multiplication and division. And the way that works is when you are multiplying and dividing, you want to do whatever comes first as you look from left to right. So the order in which you read is the order in which you should be solving or simplifying those expressions. After you've done all the multiplication and division in the problem, you are going to then do the same thing with the addition and the subtraction, but again moving from left to right. That's what's important to remember. It doesn't matter if you add first or subtract first, but as you move your eyes across the paper from the left side to the right side, if you come to subtraction first, you're going to do subtraction. Then your next step might be addition, and then you may have subtraction again. And that's okay. You always want to move from left to right with the multiplication and the division. That's the most common error that I see kids make. So let's look at some of these problems. A lot of times you're going to see the words simplify an expression. We know that this is an expression because there's no equal sign. So what that means is that we aren't really solving anything. We are simply combining all of these terms together so that way it's a little bit of a simpler statement. We're going to follow our order of operations of parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division from left to right, addition and subtraction from left to right. And I always tell the kids, one step, one line. Make it to where you don't make a silly calculation mistake. So parentheses would be first. We have none, so those are done. Next, we have exponents. We have an exponent right here. So I'm going to bring down everything else in this expression. So 13 minus 36 divided by 9 plus. And then I'm going to solve 5 to the second power, which is really 5 times 5, which is 25. So now I'm going to do my next step. The exponents are done, so I'm going to do multiplication and division, moving from left to right. Well, here I have subtraction, so that's not what I need. Here's division, so this is the next statement that I'm going to do. So this 13 minus I'm going to bring down. 36 divided by 9 is 4, and then I'm going to bring down the plus 25. I have no more multiplication and division, so that step is done. So now I'm going to move into addition and subtraction from left to right. So the first thing I'm going to do is right here. 13 minus 4 is 9, and I'm going to bring down my plus 25. 9 plus 25 is 34. So I know that when I simplify this, I get 34. One step on each line helps to make sure that you don't make an error. So let's look at this next one, and we are going to follow these steps yet again. So the first thing is parentheses, so that means I'm going to solve this piece. I'm going to bring everything else down. Remember, multiplication can be represented by a dot. 3 times 5 is 15, so parentheses are done. Exponents are done. Multiplication and division from left to right. I've got 8 times 4. Now, if I would have done the subtraction first, I would have had a problem. 4 minus 15 would have given me a negative. 8 times 4 here is 32 minus 15, which is 17. So that means that all of this, we can evaluate Sometimes it says simplify, sometimes it says evaluate, and we get 17. Let's look at another one, making sure that we are following all of these steps in order. Parentheses first. 15 minus 3 gives us 12. Plus 2 cubed times 5. No more parentheses. Next is exponents, which we have one right here. 2 to the third power is really 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So that means 12 plus 8 times 5. Next is multiplication and division. So I'm going to multiply 8 times 5. So that means 12 plus 40 is next, which gives me 52. One more, guys. Sometimes you are going to come to a problem like this where you have more than one operation or more than one thing happening inside of the parentheses. When you are inside of those parentheses, you are again following order of operations starting from the top. So here I've got a set of parentheses and I have an exponent in there. So that's the first thing that I have to do. So I have 32 divided by 8 times 6 plus 1 squared is 1. Now I can take care of the parentheses. 32 divided by 8 times 7. Oops, get that little dot there better. So we have no more parentheses. We have no more exponents. So it's multiplication and division from left to right. So I'm going to divide first here. 32 divided by 8 is 4. I'm going to multiply that by 7. And I end up with 28. It's very important that you remember this piece right here with the multiplication and division going left to right. You all are going to do fantastic at this. Watch your calculations.